everybody. It's your boy Big Roo.
And I'm Digital Soul, and we are the Purple Brothers.
So now, everybody, we're getting into the newest Prince album out, Welcome to America. It's been out for some time now, getting rave reviews. Some people, feel like, one way. Some people feel another. And we just kind of break down track by track and kind of give you our feel of what we think about the record. Now, Welcome to America is the first full, previously unreleased studio album of Prince material to be released posthumously. And it's the 10th posthumous album released overall. So this was recorded in 2010. The album was tentatively planned for release in 2011. Like it was supposed to be the follow-up to the album 2010. And in conjunction with the Welcome to America tour that ran from December 2010 to May of 2011. But after that time, the album was abandoned. He just said, hey, I'm over it. He didn't want to put it out that time. So we went through a period where from 2010 to almost, I want to say 2014, we didn't really have any more material from Prince. So what's crazy, was bomb to me when I listened to this record, it's like this album was done in 2010. We're in 2021. And the things that was on his mind in 2010 is so profound to this day, the stuff that we're going through. So we're just gonna kind of like give our own opinions track by track as we go through Welcome to America. So with that being said, let's go to the first track, title track of the album, Welcome to America. Well, to me, the title track is like the most honest, the most opinionated that I've heard Prince in a long time. I mean, he's really letting you know how he feels about technology, the world that we're in today. Talking about, we were, a little sidebar, we was joking with Digital Soul about his phone situation. And Prince made reference to the iPhone and talking about Google and all this stuff that I've never heard this man talk about these things before. And it was just so profound in the lyrics. And it's the intro to the album is, to me, it's kind of like laid back and funky. You hear the bass line, doom, 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 doom. And with the chord progressions, man, I'm just like, okay, what's cooking? And then he's just basically talking through the song, and really profoundly all the stuff that he feels it's really a detriment to us as a society as a whole. So yeah, but the song, man, is funky, bro. It is funky.
Yeah, the song "Welcome to America," it gives me to me, it has like a Stevie Wonder vibe to it.
Okay.
When you listen to like the Moog synth, when they kind of come in and the way they're played, some of the synths that come in, randomly,
Yeah.
it has like a Stevie Wonder, like "Living for the City" Intervisions type of vibe to it.
Ooh,
to
okay.
me, it has that sound, and then the political part of it, talking about the like what's going on in the world and the state of the world, and the theme of the song itself. It's like it has such a that type of Stevie vibe to me. It really does. I really dig it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Digital Soul.
Where you can fail your job, get fired, and get rehired.
Right.
The first line he says in that song, I so felt that, man, because I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, you know what, man, to be truthfully honest, man, I like this song. It took me a minute to actually get into it. Only reason because we got it as a single a while back, first off, before the album came out.
Right.
Loved it from that point. And Paul made a very, very important point, which stood out to me, and why I do like it is that Moog and those synthesizers. That was immediately what grabbed me. Mm-hmm. And then also, it's almost a sinister creep up. You know, it's kind of like a Pink Panther thing with the bass, like Rube mentioned, with that bass line slowly coming in. It's like, oh shit, what's about to happen? You know, and you know, Prince talks his way through it. It's basically a reflection song. It's basically like, okay, these are my thoughts, and he's talking about, like Rube said, like, you know, Google and, you know, Apple and things like that. And you have to think back, man, this was recorded 10 years ago. Like, yeah, this shit was big back then, but it's like a lot of things that are fads, they usually phase out in 5 years. But he made this album 10, 11 years ago, and these things that he's mentioning in these songs are even bigger now. Google, you know, Apple, and things like that. So yeah, that is almost prophetic if you think about it in a lot of ways. And he's talking about, you know, the educational system and you know, and then celebrity sex tapes. There's a lot of topics that pop up during this song that are still actually happening that you would think that would have phased out already. So it's a very unique song in the mind of Prince in 2010. Like Rube said, you would think that it was just recorded last month, but it's a very, very good song. You know, very laid back and a very good opener, and a good inclusion of all the women, Lisa, Liv, and Shelby. Really, you know, letting them stand out with the introduction of this song as well.
Yeah. I think it was, for the subject matter of this record, I think this track really just set the bar of what is to come next. And so with that being said, we can all say that Welcome to America, big up to Welcome to America, the song. We all like it. So we're gonna move on to the second track of the album. It's called Running Game, Son of a Slave Master. Man, when this comes on for me, just the guitar riffs, and then for a few bars, and it just kind of go to the chord progressions and whatever. I just for the love of music, that takes my ear first before I listen to anything lyrically. And this one right here, man, it's just another groove, you know what I mean? That's just kind of accompanying what the rest of the album is. So this one is really, really a good song. It's really saying, another song from Prince is really speaking his mind about record companies and other things that's going on. It's just the perpetual thing. It's just things are just going over and over. The same thing is happening in cycles over and over again. And that's what he's really displaying with this track.
He's really, I think he was really getting into the whole thing about the recording industry again, you know, and talking about if you don't own the masters, the master owns you, that whole slogan.
Right.
It's hitting home right here in the song. And he's just keeping it in there. He just wants to, he was so serious about that whole topic that he just wasn't going to let it go. You know, and this song is a prime example of that it was a real struggle for him, and it was very, very serious to him. And the song is just funky. This song made it on Funkclone Radio. It was that funky. It had to be on there. Yeah, I love it. I love the song. I love what he's saying. I just dig it. Great song.
Yeah, this is another one caught me off guard, just coming right after the title track, Welcome to America. Because if you read the album titles, you know, if you just look at it before you listen to the song, looking at that song title, you're thinking, oh wow, this is probably going to be some serious shit happening. What the slave master, the whole bit. But as Paul mentioned, it's a very laid back vibe, and then also pointing the finger at the music industry. And then, Welcome to America touched on so many topics in that 5 minutes. The next stab was at, the music industry. And I want to point out a line, how much you want for a real dope beat, another A&R man lying through their teeth. So, and he made, and this song touches on black crime, but to me, he made a point to talk about the music industry first, in the first verse, and then talk about the crime and include that in the totality of the song. So yeah, definitely, the music industry, another topic of Welcome to America. I mean, to put it bluntly, the music industry is fucked up. So and he was one of the first to encourage independency. Or like Paul said, own your masters. And he did that for years and years and years, way ahead of the game. And now people are now starting to do it more now, but he still was an advocate for that even in 2010 when he recorded this song. So yeah, it was another one of those digs at music, of course, and you know, just keeping it real and keeping the welcome to America and what America has done, not just to Black people, you know, and to white people or whoever it is of color, but to America, period.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Well said. And I can remember when he was on was it like a Soul Train Award show or something? It had to be early 2000s. It was
Oh yeah, I remember that in 2000.
Yeah,
he
it
said
was 2000.
to the audience. Yeah, I remember that.
Right, and he had his hair kind of like colored in the front and what have you. And then he took off his glasses and says, "You all beautiful people." He was trying to talk to him. And like they were standing, they were listening, but to me, they wasn't listening. He was saying some stuff so profoundly, like, you guys, you know, we have control. You got to take control of your situation and with the masters and all that. He was saying that in 2000. And then if you really look at those shows, you can see the artist Genuine shaking his head, kind of like laughing and giggling.
And the camera went to Russell Simmons too. I remember that.
Yeah, it went to Russell Simmons.
I remember the camera. They went to the camera went on Russell real fast when Prince was talking that night too. I remember that.
Yeah, Russell was like,
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he was looking crazy, but Prince was spitting the shit. You know what I'm saying? He was letting them know. But to me, they were listening, but they wasn't listening. Now, all these artists is trying to get their masters. Anita Baker just got her masters.
Right.
She's 64, 65 years old. She just got her masters, bro. So, but anyway, yeah, man, we can go on and on from that. This brother, Golden Parachute, he was talking about that, you know what I mean, on Golden Parachute, but
he's been talking about this since 90 in song. He's been talking about this topic since 93, 90. Well, you know, when he did the name change, that was what, 93?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the back, he's been in the, you know, in the trenches for a good, he was for like a good, what, 20, 25 years.
Absolutely.
About the topic, you know, he wasn't stopping. He was serious about it. He was really serious. I got to give it to him. He blazed trails about it too. He really did.
Still to this day, you know, even when it's passing, people are really finally catching on to what the vision that he had, you know. So, hey, you're artists, own your masters, man. Don't let them make a slave out of you, like he said profoundly in the 90s. So we're gonna keep it pushing to the third record on this album, Welcome to America, and it's called Born to Die. This is my shit. This is my shit. When I first heard, like, when they did the interview with Morris Haynes on what was it, 60 Minutes?
Yeah.
And they played a little bit of the song. First, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit of Welcome to America. He did check the record. But when he played this, I was like, oh shit, this is, now, to me, I never heard Prince in this way. I mean, you hear the falsetto profoundly over the years, 40 plus years, but I never heard him in a vein, like musically like this. And it was something that came up from Dr. Cornel West. The premise of him doing this song was because of Cornel West. So Dr. Cornel West, you know, he said jokingly on the interview, like, you know, Brother Prince is good, but he's no Curtis Mayfield. And Prince was like, really?
Why you imitate his voice though? Don't look into his eyes, Paul.
Right.
Immediately he went into the lab, bro, and this is what he got. It's like Prince morphed himself into Curtis Mayfield, bro, and it's the most bomb. To me, it's the best song, in my opinion, on the record. That's the one, when I go to this record, and I got, like most of us, we got the vinyl. I go to track 3 first, then I back up. You know what I mean? It's just, subject matter is great, but just the music, it takes you back to that 70s vibe. You know, when you think of the stuff Curtis Mayfield did back then with "Give Me Your Love" and Superfly and Freddie's Dead. You get that vibe from this record, man. So, yeah, it's a dope record, man.
Yeah, Prince has done that. He's done that quite a bit, man. Go back and forth. Not in this style that you're talking about. Like this, like you said, this one's leaning more towards the really soulful Stax. Curtis Mayfield back in that era. I mean, there's quite a few albums where he kind of went back and kind of did some really, really soulful stuff. But this one, this is on another level. I agree with you on that.
Sure.
I think that this one, I have a lot to say about this one too, because the topic of this song is really focused on a woman. He's saying she throughout the song. So, and he references Oakland and Frisco to the Bay. He's making reference to Northern California in the song. And on this song, if you really listen to it and really dig into it, there's a lot going on. There's some congas going on in it. So that, a conga player that really stood out. There's a harp, there's some flugelhorns, there's some flutes, there's a full orchestra going on in this song. And unfortunately, the person who's playing those congas, I would really, really like to know who they are, because they're not credited. In that whole entire set, there's no credit given to whoever orchestrated the orchestration part of that song. But there's so much going on in that background. It's freaking beautiful if you just really listen to it.
Might be Morris Hayes, John.
Conducting the orchestra, or
I think so. Or he's doing like orchestral. It's like it's on keyboards, maybe. But I think Morris Hayes.
But I do know this. If you listen to it, there's a harp, an actual real harp. There's like Rube said, it's a real 70s song. It's truly when the Cornel West thing came up about, okay, I'm gonna do the Curtis Mayfield thing. He really dug into it, because Curtis Mayfield, if you listen to him from 72 to like 78, congas and harp and strings were his main thing. And Prince predominantly put that in this song. It stands out so strong, and it's the only song on this album that has all that. So he purposely went that direction of this song. But it's a strong song. I mean, thinking about the title, "Born to Die," I mean, you think, okay, this is going to be kind of depressing. But it's an amazing song, well constructed. A great third song to the addition of the first two songs that came on. So it's keeping the vibe going. It does, the vibe of the album so far into the third song, it ain't picked up yet. It's still kind of keeping you at a pace with this song. So it's good shit so far. I love it.
Yeah, I love this song too. And I remember when I was putting together a the Funkclone radio show a couple months ago, and I remember telling John, I think I texted you saying I was going to add this song, "Born to Die," on the show, and you were like, how's that going to work? Let's see how you're going to make that work. And I said, it's going to work, watch. And it worked. I mean, it's soulful, but it's got that funk thing as well on, which I really dig about that song. The singing, how he's singing, the soulful part, like you guys are saying, but it's also got a funk thing on it, which I just love. That song is absolutely just a great song. One of the greatest songs I think he ever did. Great.
Yeah, and trip off the last 30 seconds of the song as it fades out.
Yeah.
There's some women dialogue there, like they're gossiping on the phone. It's like it's buried in the mix, so you have to really hone in and listen to it. But I love that because it kind of ends the song with that, what they talking about, what's going on today. If you really listen to it at the end of the song, and it kind of fades out. So that's like a good closer to that song too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really, like you said, he really paid attention to Curtis Mayfield and his arrangements of his songs, bro. And like you said, when it ends, it's the dopest song to me, on the album. But if my favorite songs of all time, I have to put it in the mix of my favorite Prince songs, man. It's just that profound for me, man. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next record, and it is 1,000 Light Years from Here. So for this musically, I'm thinking musically for me, I like the way the intro and it comes in, and it just starts into some funky stuff, you know, a few bars later down the line. And it's really, without even getting into the lyrics, I think it's a well orchestrated record. And Paul, what you feel? How do you feel about it? You know, when it comes to the lyrics of this record, subject matter.
This song is saying so much
Mm.
about what's going on today in the year 2021, or what's been going on for the last year, you know, 2020, 2021. You know, this pandemic that we've been going through, it brought up a whole lot of other things in people, you know. A lot of political stuff's come to the forefront in people's minds, and a lot of crazy stuff's been going on, you know, and it's, you know, it's divided a lot of people. And I think one of the key lyrics in this song is when he says, you know, you can dream about a new world order, but it's just a nightmare if you still got borders. That line that right there says so much to me about the state of the world and how people think. And it's like, it's not like, you know, people have been thinking like this for years and years, but everything's just come to like a boiling point now. So it's like, you know, why can't we get over this type of thing? You know what I mean? As a planet. And it's a shame. And Prince felt the same way, you know, and you know, that's the type of lyric that, you know, if you really listen to it, it'll teach you something, you know. I really believe that. And as far as the song itself, this is one of my favorites as well. I like the version that was on the Hit and Run part part 2. It was like the coda part after Black Muse.
Right.
I like what he's saying in that one as well. You know, that one's more personal though. This one is more like talking about the world, and it's more political. I dig both, but this one, you know, with the slowed down tempo, the arrangement, and the way it's going, and what he's saying in the song, it's just it hits me in a special way. And I hope that people are really listening to the lyrics on this one, because he's saying some pretty heavy duty stuff in this one that you can really learn some, you know, learn a lesson from. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
You know, I was a little nervous because Paul Funkclone said he had some lyrics that he wanted to reference, but there were different lyrics. But yeah, this song also, just from the title, you know, I love the title of the song because I'm all about escapism. I'm all about reaching for something else. You know, going to another place, finding, you know, something to free you. I'm all about that. And even when I write towards that subject. And I know we talked about the song previously, Born to Die, referencing, you know, a lot of Curtis Mayfield. But you guys are my friends. You guys know very well, I love, you know, next to Prince, Stevie Wonder. In 1974, Stevie Wonder has a song on Fulfilling his first finale album called Heaven is 10 Zillion Light Years Away.
Mm-hmm.
That song, very similar to this, the topic matter, even the style, because if you listen to it, this is a very pop-oriented sounding song. It's not very R&B-ish. It's a very, you know, pop sounding. And that Stevie Wonder song, almost a similar title, on that album is a very pop sounding song compared to the rest of the album, but the subject matter is very close. I want to think in my mind that Prince probably was listening to that album around the time when he wrote that song, because this song also touches on the topic of salvation, and you know, basically living forever. And the lyrics I want to reference that I really love that he wrote: "Why would God make heaven so far away with the whole world of his children crying to him every day? Maybe it's time to stop the rain." So those lyrics actually stood out to me, and you know, if you think about it, with this being, you know, the fourth, fifth song down the line on this album, if we were to pull songs like Hot Summer and, you know, more of the funkier songs off this album and keep with the flow of the beginning of this album itself could have almost been an inspirational album on the strength of almost like the Rainbow Children without the Jehovah's Witness topic.
Right.
Because on God a lot throughout this album on a lot of the songs. So it's very inspirational. It's a very prophetic and very spiritual album, and a spiritual theme running throughout this album if you really, really dig into the lyrics and the sound of it.
This whole album and the lyrics that he blessed us with was so profound, man. So, man, this is just one of those gems of this record.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, on the vinyl part of this, if you listen to this on the vinyl, to me, this song concludes side one. To me, side one is a masterpiece to me.
Wow.
All 4 songs, like the way they're set, the way they're going. To me, side one is great. You can't change it.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make with the four or five songs in that row. Like if he just kept going with that flow, this could have, pulling off those other songs that are not so related to the topic of what the 4 songs were. This could have been a really, different. It's a different album, but like Rainbow Children, a lot of people didn't grab that. It took 10, 20 years for people to get to that album.
Yeah.
So it's going to take another 10, 20 years for people to get to this one too.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of his time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Rainbow Children was at first, when you first hear it, was kind of a difficult hear for me. But as time went on, I was like, I slept on it. I was like, I really missed the mark, and I should have really got into it. But here we are. So with that being said, big up to 1,000 Light Years from here. We're gonna move forward to the next song, and it's called Hot Summer. Hot Summer to me, it's kind of in my opinion, it's kind of like wasted space. I don't really care for it too much. He's tried to have a little, I wouldn't say like a little rock vibe. It was more poppy, but to me, it just didn't coincide with all the different things. With Prince, you're gonna get a variety, right? But with this record, it just, I could have did without it. I think this could have been on maybe phase 1 or phase 2, the hit and run joints. I could hear this one on those records and not this one, unfortunately. It just didn't really move me. It's one of those records that I skipped, unfortunately.
I concur with you, Ruben. I don't really care for it too much either. I think I've listened to it maybe 3 times, and it's like it just it's kind of like one of the songs of his that I don't really care for. It's not really my style.
I didn't understand. It's like this was just okay.
Yeah, I think they just take it for what it is, man. It's just a fun song, and once again, the women, the girls being so prominent on this album, this is another chance for them to shine. And I know they released this somewhat of a single like towards the end of the summer. I think it probably would have did better if it was released maybe earlier in the summer. I don't know, but I don't take it very seriously. I think it's almost strategically placed right here. Like I said, there's a theme running throughout the album, but this one kind of goes off the topic. But if you really listen to this album, the song before this, which we just discussed, this song, Hot Summer, and the next song coming up that we'll jump into, the 3 of those songs are more pop sounding songs. So I think it's strategically placed right here as the pop part of the album. I don't know, it's just my opinion, but that's just the sound of it. Because if you listen to the first 3, 4 songs, they're really detailed in spirituality, what's going on in the world, really jazzy, really bluesy. And then we get into the middle of the album, and here's the pop, the more pop sounding oriented stuff.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, like, just take it for what it is. It's a cool record. But to me, I could have did without it. Sorry.
The irony of it is that when he was in 2010, supposedly he was playing this song Hot Summer, like he was kind of previewing it a lot.
Okay.
So he dug it, I guess. Obviously he liked it. So there you go.
Right. So okay. Well, me and DJ Funkclone, we don't really care for it. Digital Soul sound like, he's trying to be, hey, just take it for what it's worth. Whatever. He's trying to be.
Let me just say this though. All three of us, we all got the album about the same time.
Right.
And we decided to do this show now because we had a chance to kind of get into the album a couple of times, dig into the detail, the book, and the whole bit. And with the song, at the first day it came out, I streamed it, listened to it, and you know how that is. You get the album, you listen to it all the way through the first few times, and then after the fourth, fifth time, you start to say, okay, this one stands out. This one starts, not to stand out, or you start going back to songs that you like. So now it is to the point, now that I've listened to this album quite a bit on different stereos as well to get the, the full mass of the production of the album. Mm-hmm. There are songs and I'm like, okay, I'm not in the mood for this one right now. In Hot Summer, I did review the album within the last couple of days, so I knew we were going to do this show. And I did review it. In Hot Summer, it's one of those songs, like I said, it's just, I could see he just wanted to put a fun song out. I didn't say it was my favorite song, but it's it's a song. It's a song. I think it's an intermission in the break.
That's a good way
of all the it's an intermission in the break of all the seriousness of the beginning of the album. So I think it's kind of a break from all that, all that serious subject matter. I guess to me,
Yeah. With that being said, we're going to keep it pushing to the next song, and it's called "Stand Up and Be Strong." Now, this particular record was a cover, right? It was a cover from, I believe, Soul Asylum. It's now we're on the poppy side. This is more of a pop record.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's more of a pop record. It's
no doubt.
It coincides with the theme of the album. But it's another one of those songs that I don't jump for joy for. It's just okay. To me, it's like an album filler. I would rather, instead of him covering this song, I would rather have an original piece to put on this record. And that's just my opinion.
I agree with you. To me, it's just, it's got a nice message, positive message. But to me, it sounds kind of preachy at the same time. It's also preachy. And yeah, it's just, to me, it's just kind of like, okay, but I skipped this one as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is like I said, this is the pop part of that. So yeah, this one, after listening to it a few times, it was cool, the first few times, but last couple of times I've been listening to it, I've been kind of jumping over it. But what I do dig about this song, man, is, and I want to say it's Morris Hayes, man, that nasty organ solo that's at the very end of the song. Mm-hmm. I do dig that. And also Prince's guitar playing. So what I love most about this song is just really the musicianship at the end of the part of the song. Not so much the song itself. And like Rube said, or we all said pretty much that, there's a theme, running throughout this album. So it does coincide with the theme of the album, which is great, man, because if you really think about it, we haven't really had a Prince concept album in many, many years, even when he was alive. Right. There was albums that were just kind of like, there were throwbacks with songs mixed from the past, mixed with new. But there were some concepts in the 2000s, but they were far and few. So this one is a real concept album. So it sticks to that theme with this song as an addition, and I get that.
No doubt. So hey, good record, not the greatest, but it is what it is. So we all have our different opinions. But
I'll put it like this: I like that song better than Hot Summer.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. Yeah, I would listen to this before Hot Summer anytime. I put the needle on, okay, we're gonna skip Hot Summer, and okay, Stand Up, Be Strong. Okay, I can deal with that. All right, cool. So now we get to the next song on Welcome to America. It's called Check the Record. Now this shit here is funky. Now when it first came on, I was like, oh shit, like
check the record.
It
He's
got
what
that.
he said.
Oh
I see the
man,
jump, man. He's
in my bed.
Yeah, this was kind of cold.
This is a cold piece, man. Yeah, you better check the record, bruh. You know who you dealing with? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a funky record, man. I love the guitar play. I love the bass line. I love everything about it, man. It's one of my, to me, it's probably the second best record, in my opinion, on the album.
I love this song, man. This one opened up episode 7 of Funkclone Radio's new music. This one was the opener. It's that funky to me. It had to be the opener of that show. And yeah, I dig it. I dig this song a lot. This one's really cool. I love the effects that Morris put on it. With Prince's how he's playing the guitar on it. This one's top notch for me. I love this. I love this jam right here. I dig it.
Yeah, this song, man, you guys nailed it, man. Pretty much. For me, man, just looking at the song title, when I read it before listening to it, to check the record title, I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's, since he's a legend, and I'm thinking he's probably about to, like My Name Is Prince, he's about to talk shit, about check the record, about to talk about his legacy and his background. But when I first listened, I was like, wait a minute, he's talking about a chick, he's talking about a girl. She want her freedom. She want to run. So he's talking to his boy like, hey, yo, man, you better check her record. She got a history. Yeah. So yeah, this song. And another thing, man, it's a strange inclusion. Cause like I said, with the theme of the song, all of a sudden this comes on. But damn, it's so damn slamming, man.
It's funky.
And it makes me think about like old school Prince albums, like back in the day. When you got them, like now, songs are spread out through 2 LPs. Back in the day, this album is only 12 songs. So if we bought a Prince album back in the day, in the 80s, all 12 songs would have been on one record.
Right.
So in my mind, with this, seeing this as a 7th song, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to flip this over to side B. This is going to be the first song on that side. This is going to step out. So I always think of this song as that this is the first song that's going to kick it off, because it just kicks ass, man. I love it.
Yeah. I think this would have been a great opener for side B. I think you're right. I agree with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what's cool about that song too, the beginning of it, actually the beginning of this one and the next one, it's actually, it's a live drummer with Chris Coleman as the drummer, but it's almost like a break beat. It's almost on a hip hop style. If you take that loop at the beginning of that record, that's like, man, it could be a break beat, man.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Great segue into the next song on Welcome to America. Yeah. And I know y'all like this one. This is the same page, but a different book. Yeah, man. I've heard this song before. This song was out there prior to the release of the album. I don't know if it was floating on other records, but it was out there. Yeah, it was on other records. I don't think it was on like Chocolate Invasion or those records, but it was floating out there. I've heard this song years ago.
Bootleg or something? Because it wasn't on any official album.
It was a bootleg. Yeah.
I never. Okay.
It was a bootleg, and I remember hearing this song back in 2009.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Just kind of like surfing the web, and you find certain Prince unreleased or bootleg songs, and this was one of the songs that I heard. So when I saw that it was on the record, I was like, oh, I know what this one is. And he changed a lot of the instrumentation, from what he did back then. Because I don't know what the original date that he did it, the original piece of this. But from what I heard then, this is an entirely different song. And he got a great
website. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go for it, Paul. It's okay.
There's a great website called princevault.com, and anybody else out there that wants to check it out, that website they're pretty accurate, it seems. They have all the info on all the recordings of every song that Prince has ever done.
Absolutely.
recording date, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So like going back to what you were saying, Ruben, you probably find that information on that website about that song.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It breaks down like every record, every album, and the track listing. You can go to that track, whatever track, and it has a breakdown of each song. So yeah, it's princevolt.com. Yeah, it's definitely one of those funky, funky. I love when I listen to stuff. I love bass lines. I love bass lines. I love the theme of this. I love the ladies when they're singing. Everything about this record is on point.
Yeah, and Shelby J, man, she's credited as co-writer, does the rap at the end, and then Morris Hayes also credited as co-producer, and also another good break beat. Like Rube said, the bass line, the beat, is very, very hip hop. It's very danceable, very two-steppish, if you say, and I love the topic matter. Nothing has changed. We all have something in common. We done, this shit been done before. Is basically what he's saying. Ain't nothing new. We've been there. So I love it. Song, the topic, it's all grand. I love it.
Yeah, this song gives me like a Earth, Wind, and Fire type of feel. Those horn stabs throughout the song. Straight Earth, Wind, and Fire. Straight Earth, Wind, and Fire right there. Yeah, this song kind of gives me that feel right there. And it's a decent song. It's, I listen through it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Record. So yeah, hey, same page, different book. Very good record. Shout out to Shelby J. Shelby, come on over here. We need you. We need you to come right here.
Love you, Shelby. We love you.
Get into existence right now, Shelby J. Come holler at the Purple Brothers, But with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next record, and it's he slows it down a little bit. It's called When She Comes. Now, go for it.
Baby making music right there. Yeah.
Now, this is another record.
Oh, my God, man. Go ahead.
This guy. This song is actually another song that was already previously released. This was on, if I'm not mistaken, the Hit and Run Phase 2 album. So I find it like, okay, I think it's pretty much the same record. I think maybe a few things is a little different.
Has a different vibe to it.
This has a different,
I actually like the vibe on this song over the other version. This one, there's something about this version I like more. I dig this one.
So I'm trying to like think of, okay, you already put this out. Why would he include it on this record? You know what I mean? Like, I think Prince is so underrated when it comes to his slow jams. You know what I mean? And you think about the album before this, this was supposed to come out in 2011, correct? So when the 2010 album came out, 2010 had 3 or 4 slow jams. Walk in the Sand, couple other joints.
Future Soul songs on there. Right?
Future Soul song, the Sea of Everything. I think it was the 3 on there.
Yeah.
The Sea of Everything. I believe is the name of the records. And I was like, man, he, from 2000 and 2009 on up, when it comes to the slow music, man, he is relentless. The whole Elixir, the song Elixir from the Lotus Flower, if you ever listen to that song, it's a cold jam. And so I know he probably had, or maybe the estate didn't take the time to put, maybe another slow song in here. I wish they did, but because, I mean, this one was already out. So I'm like, why would they implement it on this album? It just kind of baffled. But it doesn't take away from, the greatness of the song. Great song, different little vibe from Hit and Run Phase 2, but it's a damn good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to laugh at. I was trying to hold my laugh in for Rube because he was kept saying this song was out already, because I never heard the song. I don't know if it was out, but I was like, I think I know what it is because immediately when I first heard this song, I did the same thing. As soon as it came on, I was like, what is it? I heard this before.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute. This song sounds exactly like On the Couch from Musicality. It sounds like the same damn song.
You really think
You know,
so? Like,
to me it does. It's in the same vein. It's in the same style. He's singing almost in the same way.
oh
Even the
yeah,
tempo of
I
the
get you.
song. The structure of the song, the tempo of it, it's a really bluesy or really jazzy, it's a really, mellow song. And that's what really stood out to me. It was I had the same thing, Rube. I was like, I heard this song before, but that's what it was for me. I was like, it sounds exactly like that song. But yeah, I love it, man. I think it's a great song, but I miss the old days. I know a lot of people looking for those old, nasty slow jams. And of course, Prince has matured and aged over the years. He didn't do that. But even
Right.
with the slow songs, throughout the later years, they were really, really good. So I was glad to at least, get one, good, strong one on this album. With, again, the topic of the album itself, it's a strong theme running throughout. So it's a good surprise to get this kind of falling in right at towards the end of the album.
Well,
Totally.
like I was saying, I dig this version. I remember it on the Hit and Run Phase 2 album, but this one has a vibe to it that I like a lot more than the previous version. There's something about it, and I know what you mean. It sounds a lot like the one song off of Musicology. You're right, John. But
Yeah.
I dig it on this album. It fits. To me, it fits. It fits well. I dig it. I dig this jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
the only thing different on the Hit and Run, on that version is just the verses are a little different. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but we can all say that's a very, very good record. Very good record.
A strong record, yeah.
Yeah, it's a strong, solid slow jam. So, with that being said, we're gonna keep it pushing for the next song, and it's called 1010. Rin Tin Tin. The intro of the song, doo 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 doom. I was like, okay, you got me just from that. And then when he starts his falsetto on the record, man, I was like bobbing my head, like, okay, what you gonna talk about, bro? And then when the whole beat just comes in and it's just like, I don't really give a shit what he's talking about. The beat is just funky. You know what I mean? The song is like one of those funky records, man, that I just really dig. You know what I mean? But kind of threw me off when I was listening to the lyrics. And he's like the Long Ranger, Rin Tin Tin. I was like, it's a little different.
I did the same thing.
Like,
I did that head turn.
yeah, like the Long Ranger.
Okay.
Okay, all right. And then he just went on to the next verse. So
Yeah.
overall for me, it's a funky record, man. Yeah, it's dope. It's dope.
Yeah, this was cool with me. This one's cool. It's not a big standout song for me, but it's
Right.
it's listenable. I'll listen through it. It's a cool song. It's okay.
Yeah, to me, I could listen to this if it was just an instrumental. If it's just an instrumental,
Yeah.
I can listen to this every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I think I agree with you on that. Yeah.
yeah, it's to me, I could do that. But just listening to
Yeah.
the lyrics, I'm like,
I think I'm with you on that. Lyrics aren't really important on this one. It's the the music itself. I think is
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
important. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys pretty much touched on it for me, man. Lyric wise, it's like a play on words, in typical Prince fashion with a lot of songs. But like Rube said, man, just the intro with that piano coming in, real sinister like.
Yeah.
And then even the chord changes throughout the song are really, really a trip too. So the musicianship on this song is amazing. And Prince is actually credited as playing drums on this song. And what I do like about this song, really majority of this album, man, how the drums, you know, even when Chris Coleman is playing them, how up front the drums and everything is mixed on the album. So the drums, they, you know, even though they're played live, you have the acoustic, you know, played acoustically. They're really up front in the mix. And this song, if you really listen to it, it has a really kick-ass snare, and he's really, you know, it's really up front in the mix. So I love it.
No doubt, no doubt. Big ups to this record, man. It's really funky. It's really funky. So we're almost at the end, y'all. We're almost at the end. We're almost there. 2 more tracks. And the next song is one word. Yes. Hated it. This is the quintessential album filler. You know what I mean? It's just it doesn't move me at all. I tried, and I literally, even, you know, listening to it a few days ago, tried to get into it. I was just like, nah. Now, then you're gonna name it Yes. Now, y'all know he did a song, well, the family did a song called Yes back on their first album, right? That's one of my favorite joints. Like, Digital Soul knows I love this song, you know, with Eric Leeds and everybody on that joint. And that one was called Yes. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, I know it probably won't be the same, but let me try to listen and let me see where it takes me. And it's one of those, unfortunately, that I have to skip.
It's Yes 2021.
No, it's not. No, you're not gonna say that. You take that back, man. You take it back.
What you mean, man? I don't take back. No.
You take it back, rude boy. You know it's no yes. No 2021, boy.
The man say I say yes, I say yes. No.
I say no to yes.
Did you say yes when he say yes on Love Sexy?
Oh God.
Remember, he had yes on his sleeve, he had yes on his pants, he had yes on his crotch, he had yes on his ass. He had yes everywhere on Love Sexy. Let me stop, man.
I'm not even gonna touch that.
This is where your editing comes in.
Exactly. So what you think?
Real.
What you think, DJ Funkclone? What you feel about it?
Yeah, this one is kind of like filler to me too. I like this one a little bit better than Hot Summer, just a little bit, not by much though. So to me, it's just another filler song as well. I'm kind of with you on that, Ruben. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
I don't hate it, but it's not like top shelf for me.
Right. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's just like, in my opinion, it's just wasted space. It could have, you could have put something else there that could have really make the album really pop toward the end of the album. But hey, I'm not part of this statement. I don't have no opinion. They just put the shit out.
Okay. Well, let me make a point on that song, because I don't know if you really look at the lyrics of that song, and I know that song it's a poppy sounding song, and it's not one of my favorites, but I get the subject matter, and this song is going right back into the theme of the album, and it's basically saying yes to freedom and being yourself and being able to be who you are. So the topic of the lyrical matter of the song, it really does relate to the topic and the nature of the album. The song itself, I get what you guys are saying. It's one, now that I've listened to the album, I kind of jump over that one too.
All right, no doubt.
I get where he was trying to go with the message, but yeah, it's something I kind of like. Okay, I gotta get in the mood for it.
Right. So and that's a great segue with the next record, the last record on the album. It's called One Day We All Be Free. And I think when you think of Welcome to America as a whole, that's the main topic for me. Like, you know, we need to be free. We need to be free from a lot of things that's going on. Personally, a lot be free in things as far as technology is concerned, you know, with so many different facets of everything that's going on in the world. You know, I think we can all agree that that's all that we want for ourselves and for our families. And I think it's a perfect song to end the record. And it's you know it's a good sounding record. I like the lyrics, but it's not one of my favorites. And I'm with Paul. Like, you know, I like this one over Hot Summer. You know what I mean? But it's not the, you know, it's a, I think it's placed in the right place at the end. And it's well thought out, well put together record. And it's a good way to end the album.
I agree. I like this.
Yeah, I agree on that.
I dig this song. I like what he's saying. Number one, and I just dig the mood of the song, and I think it's a great ending to the album. I think it's a great finale, and it kind of wraps up the whole album up, the whole concept. I think it's a great way to end it all. I dig this song. I like it.
No doubt.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys, man. You know, placing at the last song, man, is you know, it closes it out, you know, with the theme of the album. And also Prince plays drums on this.
Wow.
Prince plays drums on this, man. So there's only a couple of tracks on this that he plays drums, and this is one of them. And he makes references, you know, to Benjamin Banneker and George Washington. So he's really digging deep into the message of, you know, like you guys said, freedom, you know, things like that, and you know, just being free. So you know, a strong message to close out the album. Kind of reminds me of, you know, like when he closed out with I think it was like Reflection on I think it was Musicology, you know, songs like that. Yeah, where he closed out with, you know, with a very strong message. So this is on the strength of that too as well. And it makes me think, man, with him closing with this song, like we talked about earlier, man, if he would just had peeled out Yes, maybe peeled out Hot Summer, peeled out a few of those songs that kind of, you know, how the album started and then how it kind of ended. It just would have been like a really strong gospel and, you know, infused spiritual album by Prince, which, you know, if you think about it, he really has never done. He's always touched on the God subject and the faith subject, you know, throughout his career on many albums, but never like a complete album up until, of course, the Rainbow Children. But yeah, this would have been on another level, because if you think about it, to put it bluntly, it's a very black album, because he's speaking on this album as a black man. He's speaking from a black man's point of view. You know, he touches on slavery, he touches on, you know, freedom, he touches on, like you said, owning your masters and things like that. So he's been doing all his life, all his career. But this album, I really see it as speaking from a black man's point of view. So that's the way I look at this album, especially saying "Welcome to America." So I love the reviews on this album, because, you know, there's a lot of people that love it, and I'm seeing a lot of people that dislike it, like totally. And I love reading the people that dislike it, because I'm always curious to say, okay, what do these Negroes don't like about this album? Is it because he's not wearing underwear anymore? Is it because he's not singing national songs? What is it that they don't like? I'm not reading these reviews, and people are talking about, okay, you know, he's touching on God, he's touching on this. But I'm like, he's been doing this his whole career.
He's always done it.
Yeah, where have you guys been? He's been doing this for years. So if you think about it, these same people, they're, you know, talking shit about it now. Okay, is this, is that, you know, it took a lot of people 10, 20, 15 years or whatever to catch up to a lot of those albums in the past. It's probably going to be the same way with this one. I mean, I had a couple of Prince albums in my past. Immediately, I didn't gravitate towards them. But now, I play them a little bit more. So it took time to catch up with me. So I get it.
Yeah,
I think we all have that, where there were albums of his that, yeah, I didn't care for when they first came out, but it took about a few years, maybe 5 years, for me to catch up.
Absolutely.
That's how it goes. Yeah, with this stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, where were they at when Love Sexy came out, and the last track on Love Sexy, Positivity? Have you had your plus sign today? You know, man, that was a perfect song for that record. And then, not to mention, John, when you talk about pulling a few songs off this album, this is just a configuration that the estate put out. It might be another configuration of this album where you
I
have,
would be interested to know.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know. They probably put in Hot Summer and and Yes, so it wouldn't have that spiritual type of effect or inspirational type of effect. So that's why they probably put some of those songs in. So you never know. It might be a configuration that you're speaking on, but probably would never know.
Or
And
maybe.
I know we touched on the topic of people catching up to this album too, and past Prince albums, you know, not mentioning any names of them, but there are a few Prince albums. They sound like today, listening to them in 2021, they sound very dated. You know, I don't tend to visit certain albums, not at all. This album, I think 10, 2015, you know, 25 years from now, I think it's not going to outdate. I think it's still going to sound fresh. I think it's still going to sound new.
Mm-hmm.
This album recorded 2009, 2010, released now in 2021, still sounds new 10 years later. So I think it's still going to sound fresh down the line.
Absolutely. So, you know, I think the one thing that I hear from people is that, you know, this is not an album that they can dance to, you know what I mean? They want the upbeat, you know, Prince, you know what I mean? And you just have to think about where he was creatively in his life, where was he spiritually, you know what I mean? And, you know, and it just kind of baffles me now how prophetic this brother was, you know what I mean? Like, with all the murders and all the atrocities that's going on, if you listen to this album right now, Welcome to America, it's touching on so many things that we are seeing with our own eyes, you know what I mean? So for him to put the pause on it for 2011 and for it to come out now, bro, it's not going to miss a beat. It could be, like you said, it could be 10 years from now. People still going to bump this. You know what I mean? It's a very, it's a very well put together.
Just imagine if that happened.
Right.
Yeah, if that would have happened, like it would have came out in 2030 or some shit, it would have been like, wow.
Well,
it's kind of a killer that would have happened.
I'm happy that we were able to hear this album because everybody is talking about, okay, what's going to be the next deluxe record? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm glad that we got a studio record that he put together, and it's not some old stuff, hashed out stuff. It's a very good album, man. So I'm very satisfied with Welcome to America.
Same here. Overall, it gives me a good feeling. I dig it. Overall, I dig it.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to thank DJ Funkclone for being with the Vocal Brothers tonight. And so, hey, what you guys feel about Welcome to America? You know, just let us know. Hey, like and subscribe our channel. We're growing every day. We appreciate all the likes, all the comments. And, you know, we'll be at it one more time. Check us out on the next one. Until then, DJ Funkclone, Big Groove, my man, Digital Soul. We out. Brothers, man.
Good night, everybody.